Well, 5 million Canadians deal with Irritable Bowel Syndrome, or I.B.S. Naturopathic Dr. Joyce Johnson joins us with some ways to make it easier to live with, and it all depends on food and fiber.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, IBS is, it's really prevalent with Canadians. And, more and more people are being diagnosed with it or coming to the realization that there's something happening in their gut that they need to deal with. And it's great to know that there are things that you can do based on the food that you're putting into your body. So it's fabulous.
Right, and a big problem with IBS is that your body can't store the nutrients that it needs, right? The body's just getting rid of it in some cases, or because there's so many symptoms with IBS.
Right. In some cases, for sure, that's the case because you can vary between being someone with IBS that has a lot of constipation or a lot of diarrhea. So if the latter is what you're suffering from, then the food is not staying in your body with enough time for you to get ample nutrients from it. So that can be an issue. And then you also get some dehydration, which could be a factor of poor health too. So we do know that there are some foods that aggravate people more than others. So what those foods are, and you're not going to have to know the acronym and what it stands for, but the acronym is FODMAP. So you want to choose foods that are low FODMAP. And what these are small, tiny carbohydrates that for some people with IBS, they have difficulty digesting them. So these carbohydrates, which should be broken down in the stomach, pass through to the small intestine, and that's where the bacteria there will ferment them. And that increases gas and bloating and then gastrointestinal symptoms. So Monash University in Australia has developed this low FODMAP diet. There's a lot of really great lists that you can find online that have low FODMAP foods. And it's not just healthy versus not so healthy foods or sweet versus not sweet. It's all about those tiny carbohydrates. So even something like maple syrup is low FODMAP, whereas honey tends to be a high FODMAP. So grab some of those lists and try to follow them as best you can.
Okay, it's such an exhaustive list that we can't go through it in a 4-minute long segment, right? So yes, we'll get that directions up then.
Absolutely. And then it's important that you're also knowing the type of fiber that you're putting into your body. So fiber is important. You need 25 to 30 grams of fiber per day. People with IBS tend to have a difficult time getting that because a lot of high fiber foods are also high FODMAP. So they think about adding fiber to the diet and then automatically they think about gas and bloating and indigestion, but it doesn't have to be that way. So low FODMAP foods that are high fiber, that's what you're trying to choose. So if you're also having difficulty getting extra fiber, make sure if you're going to supplement, choose something that is low FODMAP and that is suitable for people with IBS.
Okay. I'm seeing lots of fermented food there too. I see pickles. I love anything with pickles. So if pickles is a remedy, bring it on.
Absolutely. So anything that is fermented, that is pickled, these contain natural probiotics. And we know that with IBS, you tend to have a disbalance of too much bad bacteria versus good bacteria. So it's important that you're supplementing and eating foods, choosing foods that are rich in probiotics, rich in good, healthy bacteria. I even have some tofu here. Tempeh is also a really great source. And again, you can look for a probiotic supplement that's shelf stable. Multi-strain is what you're looking for. And that can help replenish some of that good microbiota.
Okay, so we're looking for foods. The acronym is FODMAP. And again, we'll get this segment linked up onto our website, chch.com, for more information. Thanks very much, Joyce.
Thanks so much for having me.